Have you ever felt that no matter how much you do, how much you achieve, there's still something missing? Something you can't name, but you feel it. Especially in the quiet moments, when the noise fades and you're left alone with yourself. It's not emptiness exactly. It's more like a quiet ache, a pull, the sense that somewhere, deep inside, there's something you're still reaching for. You might tell yourself it's love, or purpose, or peace. But underneath all of that, it's something even more fundamental. It's the desire to be seen, to be felt, to be understood. Not for what you do, but for who you are when everything else is stripped away. You want to know that you matter, that someone somewhere could look at you and truly see you. That's the heartbeat behind almost everything you chase. The reason you check your phone hoping for a message. The reason your mind replays old conversations, searching for meaning. The reason loneliness hurts more than pain. It's because love, in its purest form, is not optional, it's survival. And deep down, you already know that. But here's the part that no one tells you. You can spend your whole life searching for love in other people and still never find it, because love isn't something you discover, it's something you remember. It's not waiting for you out there. It's waiting for you here. Inside the quiet space you've been avoiding. Inside the parts of you you've tried to hide. We've been taught that love is something to earn, something we have to prove ourselves worthy of. But that belief is what keeps us trapped. Constantly chasing, constantly performing, constantly pretending we're fine. We wear masks because the world rewards them. Smile enough, achieve enough, stay busy enough, and maybe you'll feel loved. But you and I both know it doesn't work. The moment the noise stops, the ache returns. What if love was never meant to be earned? What if it was meant to be remembered? What if every time your heart breaks it's not the end, but an opening? The moment when life gently strips away everything false, leaving you face to face with what's real. Because when everything else falls away, what remains is what was always there. The simple, raw truth that you are love itself. That's hard to accept, isn't it? Because it's easier to chase than to feel. It's easier to run after something than to look within. But the truth is, the love you've been searching for has never been missing. It's been waiting for you to stop running, for you to stop fighting the silence, for you to remember what you are beneath the noise. Think about it. Every connection you've ever longed for, every person who ever made you feel alive, it wasn't really about them. It was about what they awakened in you. That moment of recognition, that spark that whispered, I remember this, I remember me. And if you follow that feeling, not the person, but the presence, you'll start to notice something. Love isn't something that happens between two people. It's what exists when the illusion of separation fades, when you stop trying to be enough and simply are. That's when everything shifts. Because love isn't a transaction, it's not a performance. It's not a reward for doing life right. It's the natural state of being when you stop pretending to be separate from everything else. When you see yourself in others, and others in yourself. That's why when you love deeply you feel more alive, because for a moment the walls disappear. You're not just a person in the world, you're part of it. You're the wave remembering the ocean it came from. And maybe that's what this whole journey is really about. Not finding love but remembering it. Not chasing connection but realizing you were never disconnected. Because once you see that, once you truly feel that, the ache begins to soften. The search begins to quiet. You stop asking, who will love me? And begin to ask, how can I love more fully, more honestly, more freely? And in that question, you find what you were looking for all along. The peace that comes when you no longer need to be loved, to know that you are. The freedom that comes when you stop searching for belonging and start living as if you already belong. Because you do, you always have. The truth is, most people never stop long enough to see what's really happening inside them. They fill their days, chase distractions, drown in noise, anything to avoid the silence that reveals what's been missing. But the silence is where everything begins. It's where love lives. It's where the voice you've been trying to hear finally speaks. You've spent so long searching for someone to give you what you already are. And every time you reach outside yourself for that feeling, it slips further away. Because love doesn't respond to force, it responds to presence. Look around you. Everyone is running towards success, validation, attention. But behind the running, there's fear, the fear of being unseen, the fear of not being enough. And that fear builds walls. Invisible ones, You can't see them, but you can feel them. Between you and others, between you and your own heart. But what happens when you stop running? When you finally stand still and face what's been chasing you? That's where freedom begins, because the moment you stop trying to be loved is the moment love can find you. It's the moment you stop pretending. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop believing that you need to earn what has always been yours. You've been measuring your worth by how others respond to you, but the truth is, no one can give you what you've denied yourself. Love cannot enter where you've built a cage of self-doubt. You have to open the door from the inside. Every time you look in the mirror and wish you were different, you feed the illusion that love is conditional. But love was never meant to be a reward for perfection. It's meant to be the fire that burns through your imperfections and reminds you that you were whole all along. You don't have to become anything more to be worthy of love. You just have to stop running from yourself. Think of how much energy you've given to fear, how many moments you've spent trying to be someone you're not. Every fear, every wound, every moment you felt rejected was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to wake you up, to crack open the shell you built around your heart. Because the heart doesn't grow stronger by staying safe. It grows stronger by breaking open. That's where real love is born, in the breaking, in the surrender. You've been told to protect yourself, to keep your guard up, to never let anyone see too much. But what if vulnerability isn't weakness? What if it's the most courageous thing you can do? To stand in front of the world with your heart uncovered and say, "This is me." That's power, that's truth, and it's the only place real connection can exist. When you let yourself be seen, you give others permission to do the same. And that's when love starts to flow freely again, without conditions, without fear. Every human being on this planet is craving the same thing, to love and be loved. It doesn't matter how successful they are, how confident they seem, or how much they own. Underneath it all, everyone is reaching for the same light. And the moment you see that, truly see it, you can never unsee it. Because it changes everything. You stop seeing enemies. You stop seeing strangers. You start seeing yourself in everyone. And when that happens, something inside you shifts. The walls fall. The fear softens. You begin to live differently. You speak differently. You stop needing to be right, to win, to control. You start to understand that the purpose of life isn't to conquer, it's to connect. That the real measure of a life isn't how much you achieve, but how deeply you love. This is your moment to remember, to come back to the truth you've always known. You don't have to keep searching for love because you are the source of it. Every breath you take, every act of kindness, every time you choose understanding over judgment, you're returning to what you were always meant to be. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more presence. It needs more hearts willing to stay open, even when it hurts, because that's where healing begins. And maybe that's why you're here, to stop waiting for love to save you and start being the love that saves the world. Love isn't just an emotion. It's the force that shapes everything. Every choice, every thought, every act of creation or destruction begins with that single desire, to feel connected. When we forget that, the world begins to fracture. We build lives that look full but feel empty. We chase approval instead of meaning. We mistake attention for love and wonder why we still feel unseen. The truth is brutal but liberating. The life you are living right now is the reflection of how deeply you allow yourself to love, not just others, but yourself. This moment, this breath. You can't keep hiding behind fear and expect to feel alive. Fear is what keeps you small. It tells you to stay quiet when your soul is begging to speak. It tells you to settle when you know you were made for more. It convinces you that love is dangerous, that opening your heart means losing control. But control is the real prison. You think it keeps you safe, but it keeps you numb. And the longer you hold on to it, the further you drift from the truth of who you are. The world doesn't change when you keep yourself guarded. It changes the moment you choose to live with an unguarded heart. That's where real courage begins. Not in the absence of fear, but in the choice to love anyway, even when it hurts. Even when it's uncertain, even when the world gives you every reason not to. Because love is not a reaction, it's a decision, and that decision has the power to rewrite everything. There's a part of you that already knows this. You feel it when you stop, pretending for just a second. When the noise fades and you remember the simplicity of being alive, that's the voice you've been drowning out. The one that whispers, This is who you are. Every time you ignore it, you drift further away from yourself. Every time you listen, the path becomes clearer. Life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a return, because that's all this journey really is, a return to what's real. But to return, you must let go. Let go of the idea that love must look a certain way. Let go of the need to be chosen. Let go of the stories you tell yourself about why you're not enough. Because every time you hold on to pain, you block the very thing you're asking for. Love doesn't enter through walls, it enters through surrender. And surrender isn't giving up. It's giving in to truth, to flow, to the unshakable knowing that what you seek is already within you. This is where most people stop. They reach the edge of that surrender, and fear pulls them back. But you can't grow without falling into the unknown. You can't love without risking heartbreak. You can't truly live without dying to who you once were. The old version of you, the one who needed to prove, to earn, to chase, has done enough. You don't need to fight for love anymore. You just need to make room for it. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, you open that space. Every time you forgive instead of resent, you dissolve another layer of fear. And piece by piece, you begin to see that love was never something to find. It was something to become. When you stop waiting for the world to change and start embodying the very thing you're craving, everything shifts. People feel it. Life responds. The universe moves in the direction of love. Always. It's the rhythm of everything that exists, the pulse behind every heartbeat, the silence between every word. When you align with it, you stop fighting against life. You flow with it. You stop needing to know what comes next, because love becomes your compass. It leads you where logic can't. And when you live that way, something miraculous happens. The fear loses its grip. The emptiness disappears. You begin to look at others and see not strangers but reflections. You realize that to love and be loved isn't two separate things. It's one continuous act. The giving and the receiving are the same breath, the same heartbeat. That's the truth you've been searching for, the truth that ends the chase, that dissolves the ache, that brings you home. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be more. You just need to remember, to love and be loved is not the goal of life. It's the essence of it. It's what you are, what you've always been, and what the world needs most from you now. So let it rise. Let it move through you. Let it lead you home. There comes a moment when the search must end, when the endless reaching, striving, pretending begins to collapse under its own weight. And in that collapse, you face the question that changes everything. What if nothing is missing? What if all the pain, the longing, the fear was only trying to lead you back to yourself? You've spent so long believing love was something to earn, but love was never a destination. It's what you are when you stop running from the truth. Every second you spend waiting for life to give you permission is a second you lose touch with who you really are. You were never meant to live half awake, half alive. You were meant to feel everything, to let the beauty and the pain shape you, to let love carve you open until there's nothing left to hide. That's where the real power is, not in control, not in safety, but in surrendering to the truth that you are already whole. Look at your life right now. Every choice you've made has been a conversation with love or with fear. Every word, every silence, every moment you held back or reached out. Each one was a declaration of what you believed you deserved, and maybe that's what this moment is asking of you. To stop living as if love is something outside of you. To finally see that it's the current running through every breath, waiting for you to say yes. The walls you built to protect yourself are the same walls that keep you isolated. They don't just block the pain, they block the joy too. You can't numb one without numbing the other. You think you're keeping yourself safe, but you're only keeping yourself small. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to be real. Because love doesn't meet you in your perfection. It meets you in your honesty. It meets you in the moment you stop pretending and finally show up as you are. There's a reason you feel the pull to something greater. It's not just hope, it's memory. The memory of what you've always been. The awareness that love is not something you fall into, it's something you remember when you wake up. That's why no amount of success, no relationship, no achievement has ever been enough. Because love isn't about having more, it's about becoming more open, more vulnerable, more alive. But becoming love means letting go of who you thought you had to be. It means breaking the pattern of self-protection, stepping into the unknown, and trusting that what's real will never abandon you. Every fear, every wound, every heartbreak has been preparing you for this moment, for the choice to stop shrinking and start expanding. You can feel it, can't you? That quiet voice rising beneath the noise, whispering that it's time to stop asking for permission, time to stop hiding behind excuses, time to live as if love is the only truth that matters. Because it is. Everything else fades. The opinions, the validation, the masks, they all dissolve. But love endures. It's the one thing you can't lose because it isn't something you own. It's what you are. And when you start to live from that place, the world around you begins to shift. People feel it. Life responds. The same energy you've been searching for starts flowing through everything you touch. You begin to realize that loving and being loved are not opposites. They are the same act, reflected back to you. Every moment you offer kindness, you're receiving it. Every time you forgive, you free yourself. Every time you choose understanding over judgment, you're opening the door a little wider for love to enter. That's the truth hidden in every heartbreak, every disappointment, every lonely night. They were never punishments. They were invitations. Invitations to remember what you are. And now there's no more waiting. No more searching for love in distant places. It's here, now, breathing with you, moving through you, asking to be lived. The world doesn't change because you talk about love. It changes because you become it, because you embody it in the way you speak, in the way you forgive, in the way you look at another human being, and silently say, I see you. You are me. That's the awakening you've been chasing, the return to the simple truth that to love and be loved is not the goal of life. It's the pulse of existence itself. And once you feel it, once you truly remember, there is no going back. There is only the choice to live from that truth, fully, fearlessly, and without restraint. Because love is not what you find at the end of the journey. Love is the journey itself. And once you understand that love is the journey itself, everything else begins to fall into place. The noise quiets. The endless seeking softens. You start to see that life has never been against you. It's been trying to wake you up. Every challenge, every loss, every moment you thought would break you was actually shaping you, stripping away everything that was never real. Because only when you've lost what's false can you see what's true. Only when your heart has been cracked open can the light finally enter. You've been waiting for a sign, but this is it. The pull you feel right now. That spark in your chest, that voice whispering there's more. That's love calling you back home. It's not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be present, to stop pretending that tomorrow will save you. Tomorrow is a myth. There is only now, and now is the only place where love exists. Every moment you hesitate, every time you choose comfort over truth, you drift further from the life you're meant to live. The mind will tell you to wait until it's safe, until you're ready, until you've healed. But love doesn't wait. It moves through everything. It's not here to protect your ego. It's here to awaken your soul. And that awakening will cost you your old self. It will ask you to let go of who you've been pretending to be, to stop performing for a world that's forgotten what real feels like. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to burn with a love so pure it terrifies anything untrue. That's why life keeps breaking you open, so you can remember the fire you carry. Every time you fall apart, it's not the end. It's a rebirth. The pain you feel isn't punishment, it's transformation. It's life removing the layers that keep you from seeing your own light. You've been trained to believe that love is weakness, that to care deeply makes you vulnerable. But vulnerability is the birthplace of strength. It's where truth breathes. It's where meaning begins. The world doesn't need more guarded hearts. It needs more people brave enough to love without conditions, without fear, without needing to be right. Because love isn't about being untouched by life. It's about being completely undone by it and still choosing to open anyway. This is your reminder. You don't have to keep fighting the current. You don't have to keep proving your worth. You've already earned the right to exist. The moment you were born, you were enough. The universe didn't make a mistake with you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every experience, even the painful ones, have been carving you into something more whole, not less. You are not falling apart. You are falling into truth. But don't just listen to these words. Feel them. Let them cut through the noise of your mind. Let them remind you that the love you crave is not out there somewhere waiting for you to find it. It's here. It's been here all along, buried beneath your doubt, your fear, your shame. And it's waiting for one decision, to finally let it rise, to live like you remember who you are, to love like it's your only purpose, because it is. Love is what built this world. It's what breathes you every morning and whispers you to sleep at night. It's the reason the stars exist, the reason your heart beats, the reason pain hurts. It's all part of the same movement, guiding you back to connection, to unity, to truth. And if you forget everything else, remember this: nothing you've lost was ever real enough to stay. What's meant for you will never require you to shrink. Love will never ask you to hide. It will never demand that you become someone else. Real love expands you, it opens you, it burns through your fear and shows you what freedom feels like. This is your call to rise, to stop living half alive, to stop mistaking survival for living. You are not here to chase love, you are here to become it, to give it, to let it overflow until it spills into everything you touch. That's the purpose of all of this. That's the point of being human, to love and to be loved. And once you remember that, nothing can ever make you forget who you are again.